For months, Zara flaunted her big catch on social media. "I'm not a village champion like you girls," she often bragged. "My man is a billionaire. I'm leaving this village soon." When he finally came, she invited every single girl to witness her victory. A black SUV rolled into the dusty square. Out stepped a tall, handsome man in a sleek suit, wearing dark glasses. His driver held his arm carefully. "Oh my God, he's real," villagers gasped. Zara stormed forward in her finest dress. "Ladies, meet my future husband," but when she reached for his hand, he didn't react. "Sir?" she whispered. The driver leaned in and said quietly, "Madam, Olga is blind." Zara froze. "What? Blind? No way, I can't marry a blind man." Her mother hissed and shouted, "Give him to that girl, Halima, the orphan."
Hello, friends. Who is Zara? Who is Halima? Watch and enjoy this story.
In the quiet heart of Aduama village, where the red dust danced with the wind and the sun kissed every rooftop like an old friend, a storm of grief was brewing inside a small mud house. The air was still, heavy with silence, but inside, Robert Okonkwo's world was falling apart. Amina, his beautiful wife of just 3 short years, lay frail on their raffia mat bed. Her once vibrant eyes now dimmed by the sickness that came uninvited and left no room for miracles. By her side, Robert held her thin hand tightly, refusing to accept what his soul already knew. Little Halima, just 2 years old, clung to her mother's wrapper, wide-eyed and confused. She didn't understand the weight of death, but she could feel something slipping away. "Amina, don't leave me now. Please," Robert whispered, brushing a lock of sweat-drenched hair from her forehead. Amina forced a weak smile. "Robert, you must live. For Halima, for her smile, and her future." Her breath was shallow, but her words were clear. She looked past him, past the thin curtain that fluttered weakly in the breeze. Outside, someone was standing, listening. Ifeoma, Amina's best friend, a woman who had visited every day during Amina's illness, bringing herbs and kind words. But kindness is not always pure, and envy sometimes wears the mask of sympathy. Unbeknownst to Robert and Amina, Ifeoma was listening to every word from just beyond the curtain, heart pounding like the drums of New Yam Festival. "Marry again," Amina whispered, her voice now paper thin. "So you and Halima won't suffer. Marry a kind woman, one who will love her like her own." Tears ran freely down Robert's cheeks. "No one can ever be you, Amina." And just like that, with one final breath and a broken heartbeat, Amina was gone. 2 days later, the whole village gathered to mourn. The women wailed, the elders shook their heads, and Efeoma, clad in her brightest wrapper, sat close to Robert's side, offering him comfort. Too close, too eager. At first, Robert thought nothing of it. Grief blinds even the wisest man. She brought food, helped care for Halima, cleaned the compound. The village whispered in corners. "Ifeoma donde do pass herself, oh. Na so we dey start," husband snatcher moved quiet. But Robert? He was drowning. In grief, in confusion, in loneliness. He barely ate, barely slept. One night, Ifeoma came with a warm bowl of yam porridge. She said nothing about the herbs she had added, roots that numbed the mind and clouded the memory. He ate. She smiled. That night, Robert fell into a sleep deeper than dreams with Ifeoma beside him on the same bed. And when the morning sun rose, Ifeoma claimed what she had planned all along. Gradually, she became bold and was gradually spending the night intermittently under guise of taking care of the family her best friend left behind. 2 months later, Ifeoma announced the result of her plans, the shocking news to Robert Okonkwo. She was pregnant. Now pregnancy rope de tie man we no get sense. And Robert, he no see him coming. When she told him, Robert stared in shock. Guilt, shame, confusion. He couldn't remember how it happened. And the village? Oh, they judged. Some with silence, others with sly looks. Eno even reached 6 months where Amina died. See him now. Ashamed and cornered, Robert did what he thought was right. He married her. Ifeoma became Mama Zara. Zara was born the same year Halima turned 3. But Robert never stopped loving Amina, and he never stopped begging Ifeoma, "Please, take care of Halima like your own." She always nodded when he was there. But the moment he stepped out, Halima became the slave, the one who fetched water, who served food last, who wore torn wrappers while Zara sparkled like Lagos lights. In the beginning, it was love, but where love died, betrayal was born. Time moved slowly in Eduama after Amina's death, like a wound that refused to heal. But Halima, small, gentle, beautiful Halima, was the one who carried the heaviest scar. Robert Okonkwo was never the same. He smiled less. He barely spoke. His body moved, but his soul lived in the past, trapped in memories of a woman he could not forget. He did what any broken man would. He buried himself in his daughter and his work, but even then, his eyes always seemed to be searching for something lost. Zara was born barely a year after Amina's death. The village buzzed. So na true say Ifeoma don't finally tie Robert down? She sharpo. See how she lock him with Bella. But behind the laughter and gossip, things were not as they seemed. Robert never looked at Ifeoma the way he looked at Amina. He was present, but absent. He'd kneel before God each morning in prayer. Father, please protect Halima. Even when I know they look, make you they look. He didn't know that the danger was already in the house. By the time Halima turned 4, her childhood had already lost its light. Zara's mother, Mama Zara, wore a perfect mask. In front of Robert, she was motherly and warm. But the moment he left the compound for work, her true face would emerge. Halima, go wash the plates. Go sweep the backyard. No chop that meat. Nah for Zara. She would pinch her, slap her for imaginary faults, hide her food. Sometimes she would lock the food cupboard and lie to Robert that Halima had eaten. Halima never complained. Her spirit was soft, but her eyes, they were always watching, always absorbing. There was only one place where Halima found laughter, the front of the house, under the udala tree, where children from nearby houses would gather to play 10-10 suwe and catcher. Chike Duru was one of them. The boy with the wide smile, always eating mangoes and cracking jokes. His parents lived 3 compounds away, and his family was respected, educated, wealthy, but humble. Zara always played too, dressed in the cleanest dresses, always reminding everyone that she was Robert's real daughter. But Halima, she would sit quietly, smiling from the edge. One afternoon, under the orange sunset, Chike turned to Halima and said boldly, "When I grow, I go marry you." The children burst into laughter. Even Halima covered her face shyly, but Zara's eyes narrowed, and something in her shifted. That night, she ran inside the house. "Mummy, Chike say he want marry Halima O." Mama Zara stopped stirring her soup. He said, "What?" "Yes-o," in front of everybody, and they were all laughing. Her mother didn't speak again, but the next day she sent Halima to go hawk oranges by the roadside while Zara stayed home to rest, and so it began. Halima was sent on errands no child should bear. She carried firewood too heavy for her small frame. She cooked, swept, washed, and ironed. Even her school attendance dropped. Robert noticed. "Why is Halima always tired? Why she dey carry all the work?" My husband," Mama Zara smiled. "Na she dey insisto. She say she want help me. Na good peekin'." Robert believed her, because men like him, grieving, faithful, broken, always see what they want to believe. When Halima turned 7, things changed again. Chike's family left Iduama for good. His father got transferred to the capital, and within a week, the Duru compound was locked and silent. Halima stood at their gate the morning they left, barefoot, holding a small calabash of groundnuts her father told her to gift them. Chike waved from the back of the car. "I'll come back, I promise." She waved back and never saw him again. 3 years later, just days before Halima's 10th birthday, tragedy returned. Robert collapsed in front of the town hall. Some say it was his heart. Others whispered that it was the weight of regret. He died the same way Amina did. Too suddenly, too soon, and this time there was no friend at the door. Only a vulture in the house. Mama Zara wept at the burial. She beat her chest and called Robert my king. But the very next day, she locked Halima's school box and sold it at the village market. You don't need school again. You go learn how to sew or sell pepper, she snapped. Halima didn't cry. She obeyed, as always. But something inside her began to shift. A quiet rebellion, a hunger to survive. After several years had passed, Zara, now a blossoming teenager, strutted through the village like a peacock. She wore synthetic wigs bought from Robert's savings. She gossiped. She mocked Halima in front of others. Now my papa build this house. No be your own, she would say. The house that once held Amina's laughter now echoed with bitterness. Halima became the help. The girl who washed, cooked, cleaned, and served guests, while her stepsister wore makeup and posted on social media with captions like, "Blessed child of grace." Far away in another city, Chike had become a man. The promise he made under the Udala tree never left him. Even after years abroad, degrees earned, businesses built, he never forgot the girl with the shy smile and quiet eyes. When he returned to Nigeria at 27, he searched online. Halima Okonkwo, nothing. But Zara Okonkwo? Everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, loud, flashy, popular. He stared at her photos. He zoomed in on the background. Sometimes he'd see Halima in the corner of a shot, serving food at an event, sweeping in the back, her head bowed. He created a fake profile. He messaged Zara. She replied immediately. And just like that, the trap began to set itself. They say time buries pain, but for some, time only makes the wound deeper. Halima was now 23, not a child anymore, but still held captive in the house that once bore her name. The once bright-eyed girl had become a shadow, soft-spoken, stoic, almost invisible. Her life was a predictable loop. Wake up before dawn, sweep, fetch water, cook, serve, clean, repeat. She knew no joy. She had no friends, but unknown to her, someone was watching. Chike was in another place far away from Iduama village. Chike had now built an empire. His companies, Duru Holdings, were the pride of the southern region. Real estate, tech, fashion, even a charity foundation. Yet amidst all the wealth, his heart remained tethered to a small village girl under a Udala tree. He followed Zara's every online move. He studied her pictures, read every caption. Self-made queen, don't hate me, hate your poverty. Another weekend, another sleigh. But Chike wasn't looking at Zara. He was looking past her. In one video, Halima served food in the background. She wore no makeup. Her dress was old, but her face, it hadn't changed. Same eyes, same quiet. Nashi, no doubt. But how could he reach her? That's when the idea struck. He created a new Instagram account. No business links, no rich profile, just a simple name, Davo 1989. He followed Zara. She followed back. Zara was excited. The messages started slow, compliments, questions about her pictures, harmless flirting. She didn't know she was speaking with Chike. "You fine die," he typed. "You sabi cook? Wetin you dey look for in a man?" She replied without filters. "I want a man who go take care of me. No broke guys, I beg." Chike laughed. It was too easy. He knew her type, loud, flashy, empty. He tested her. "Make we see na. If we click, I fit even marry you." Zara responded instantly. "Babe, I dey ready since yesterday." But Chike had no intention of marrying her. He was hunting something else. He asked for a video call. Zara agreed. He disguised his voice, added a slight Ibadan accent. "Omo, you too fine, I swear. Now you be my wife." Zara giggled like a schoolgirl. "Na me talk am. I be wife material." Chike didn't rush. He played the long game. He kept her busy with talk of plans, marriage, and future. But his mind was on Halima. "Tell me about your family." "Your sister dey live with you?" Zara scoffed. "Sister Key? That girl? I beg leave that one. Na just one yay girl we my mama carry come. She no be anybody. Na house girl she be now." Chike froze. He wanted to ask more, but he knew better than to break his cover. One afternoon, as Halima hung clothes on the line, a neighbor named Maman Kechi approached. "Halima, come help me pick pepper. I go give you one basket full." Halima smiled. For the first time in weeks, she followed. While they worked, Mom and Ketchy said, "You still day for that house?" "Yes, I remember when your papa still day alive. Now you him love pass. See weddin' life turn you to." Halima didn't respond, but something inside her cracked open. Following morning on the phone with Zara Chike said, "I want come your side. I want see you in person." Zara squeers, "Yes, I go land next week, and if everything go well, I fit carry you enter Abuja straight." Zara jumped. She ran to tell her mother. "Mummy, this guy dey serious. He say he want marry me, oh." Her mother clapped her hands. "Jehovah, my daughter don't finally make am." That night, Zara ordered a new dress. She borrowed money to do her nails. She told Halima to polish her shoes. I no go ever forget this day. But while Zara prepared for her fake fairy tale, Chike prepared for truth. He was done playing. He knew what had happened. He remembered the sparkle in Halima's eyes when she was just a girl. He remembered her innocence, her strength, her silence. "It's time," he whispered to himself. There was a flame buried deep in Halima, buried but never dead, and the world was about to feel its fire, because one man had returned to make all things right. In a village where dusty paths held secrets and silent trees bore witness to years of injustice, Zara prepared for her moment. She had always wanted to escape the ordinary, to be something more than just a village girl. And now, with her mysterious suitor promising riches and a new life, Zara believed she had finally outgrown the soil that birthed her. To her, this was not just love. This was a rival. For months, Zara flaunted her big catch on social media. "I'm not a village champion like you girls," she often bragged. "My man is a billionaire. I'm leaving this village soon." Zara stood at the stream surrounded by village girls. Her tone was loud, eyes sharp, back straight like royalty. "I told you I'm not your mate. You think because we play together as kids, we are equals? Please, I'm done with poverty talk." The girls exchanged quiet glances, unsure how to respond. Zara smirked. "Next week, you will see it for yourself. My husband, billionaire husband, is coming to take me, and all of you will witness it. You'll know who the real queen is." She leaned forward, eyes burning with superiority. "This is not local love. Not your he-goat boyfriend that takes you to Mama Chinyere's shop for malt and biscuit. My own is coming from the city with black SUV and gifts for me." A girl tried to laugh it off. "Zara, are you sure? You haven't even met him face to face." Zara snapped. "Don't be foolish. Love does not need verification. His words, his taste, his voice, they are elite. He is different, and soon I will be too." The others fell silent. For Zara, this was more than a wedding. It was a show of superiority, to authenticate her years-long brags over every other girl in the village, especially Halima, that always took the shine despite being treated lowly as a slave in her own father's house by her stepmother and sister. Later that week, preparations began. Zara and Ifioma, her mother, loaded all the dirty and cleaning works on Halima. She got the compound clean and many other deliberate cruelty against her. But for Zara, she trimmed her eyebrows. Her hair was braided with beads. A borrowed perfume soaked her dress. Her mother, Ifioma, couldn't hide her excitement. "Zara, now you become more than my daughter. You become our miracle." On the D-Day, they set up a small canopy, brought out chairs, and invited neighbors. Halima was told to sweep the compound again, this time with even more urgency. Zara barked orders. "Polish the man's seat. It's not for someone like you, it's for my husband." Halima nodded, quiet, distant, as if her body moved, but her spirit watched from far away. Suddenly, the sound of a vehicle approaching, engine hum, tires crunching gravel. Heads turned. Children ran to the road shouting, "Car don come! Big car don come!" Zara adjusted her dress, patted her cheeks. Her heart raced. The black SUV came into view, sleek, dark, powerful. The villagers murmured, "Is this the man? He really came? This is not Joko." The car came to a stop. The driver stepped out first, a man in a crisp white shirt and sunglasses. He walked to the back, opened the door. Out stepped a tall, handsome man in a sleek suit, wearing dark glasses. His driver held his arm carefully. Zara stormed forward in her finest dress. Ladies, meet my future husband. But when she reached for his hand, he didn't react. Sir? She whispered. The driver leaned in and said quietly, Madam, Olga is blind. Zara froze. What? Blind? No way, I can't marry a blind man. Gasps swept through the crowd like a windstorm. Zara's perfectly staged smile vanished. She blinked hard, confused. Wait, what? She stepped forward, forcing a smile again. Sorry, what did you say? The driver didn't flinch. He's blind, Ma. He lost his sight in a fire 2 years ago. But his heart still sees. He said he came to marry the woman who truly loves him. The billionaire said nothing. He stood still, unmoving, expression unreadable. Zara laughed nervously. No, that's not possible. No one told me this. You mean this is my husband? A blind man? You mean all the video calls, all your sweet talk about my beauty are all fake? Are you really sure you can't see me? Is this a prank or a joke? The billionaire was quiet. The crowd stared. Silence spread. Zara stepped back. I can't do this. I can't marry a blind man. I thought I was marrying a billionaire, not someone who needs help to even walk. The driver's face hardened slightly. Yes, he is a billionaire, but his wealth is not in his eyes. It's in his mind, his heart. Zara turned to her mother, trembling with disbelief. Mummy, talk to them. This is not what they promised me. Her mother hissed and shouted, Give him to that girl, Halima, the orphan. She'll marry anything. Halima, the shy stepsister they treated like a slave, was pushed forward. She didn't resist. This was her only escape from her decades-long suffering, she thought. I will marry him, Halima whispered. The village erupted in laughter. Halima, who had just stepped out from behind the door, holding a tray of refreshments. Her dress was modest, her hair tied back. The driver suddenly spoke again. Madam, you. He pointed to Halima. Please, come here. My master wishes to speak with you. Halima stepped forward slowly. Right there in the village, the supposed blind billionaire turned to Halima. His driver guided his hand, and slowly he slid a diamond ring onto her finger. Zara scoffed. Halima, the house girl, marrying a blind man? What a joke. The crowd howled with laughter, but then he raised a hand. Silence fell. He slowly removed his dark glasses, revealing 2 sharp, steady eyes. I'm not blind. Gasps echoed. He looked directly at Zara. My name is Chike Duru, CEO of Duru Tech Holdings, and I'm the richest man in this state. He turned to Halima. Their eyes met. Recognition lit them both. Gasps again. You saw me as a man, not a wallet. That's why the ring is on your finger. Zara's knees buckled. Her mother fainted. The crowd? Speechless. Halima's lips parted in disbelief. Chike Duru? Is this really you? He nodded, smiling faintly. I never forgot you. I promised you under that Udala tree that I would marry you, and I'm here to fulfill my promise. You remember me. Tears gathered in Halima's eyes. I never forgot you, replied Chike. Zara's legs gave way beneath her. This is not happening. This is not happening. Chike held Halima's hand. I came to find the girl whose silence spoke louder than 1,000 words. The one who once gave me half her mango and smiled like it was the world. He turned to the crowd. She is the one I came for, and not Zara. I made my findings, and I want to announce to everyone that Halima's trouble is finally over. That day, truth stood tall, and lies were laid bare. In the very place Halima had once been made a slave, she was chosen, seen, and honored. And for Zara, the mirror shattered. Because the future doesn't always come dressed in gold. Sometimes it wears the face of the one we discarded and returns to redeem what we tried to erase. The sun did not burn so hot that day in the village, and yet the shame on Zara's skin was hotter than fire. There she stood, a woman who had spoken of palaces, now watching from the dust, barefooted in pride and confusion. The crowd did not cheer. They whispered, they stared. Some pitied Zara, but most pitied Halima for what she had endured and admired her for standing tall. Halima, the forgotten child, the child of sorrow and silence, the one whose eyes never lied, even when her lips remained shut. Zara tried to speak again. Her voice shook. So, all our fantasies and your promises were fake? Chike's voice was steady, not fake, a mirror. He stepped forward, still holding Halima's hand. I wanted to see who you had become, and now I've seen enough. Zara's mother stepped forward drenched, after being revived by the women that poured cold water on her, shaking now. Her eyes darted between the two. She bent slightly, just enough for her voice to carry humility without truly kneeling. My son, we didn't know. Halima was like our own. We tried our best. Chike interrupted calmly. No, Madam Efeoma, you tried your best for Zara, not for Halima. But don't worry, I didn't come for vengeance. I came for justice, for truth. If silence were a blade, Zara and her mother were already bleeding. Halima turned her face away slightly, her voice barely above a whisper. I don't know what to say. Why me? Chike smiled. Because you were always the one, even when you thought you were invisible. He reached into his pocket and brought out a tiny gold anklet, one that sparkled under the sunlight. You gave me this when I left the village. Do you remember? Halima's eyes widened. I thought it was lost. No, I wore it around my wrist for years, to remind me where I came from and who mattered. He knelt in front of her, not in proposal yet, but in reverence, and gently clasped the anklet around her ankle. The crowd gasped again, but this time the gasp was of wonder. That night, Chike and Halima walked through the ruins of her father's house. Dusty frames still hung on cracked walls. A broken chair leaned against the back door. Chike touched the doorway. This house deserves laughter again. Halima looked up at him. I stopped dreaming long ago. Chike turned to her. Then start again, with me. Halima blinked. Tears fell. But this time, they were soft, healing, cleansing. Zara sat on the same chair she had polished for a man she thought would worship her. The beads in her hair now felt too heavy, her powdered face smeared with sweat. Villagers began to disperse, some shaking their heads, others sighing quietly. Her friends from the stream didn't say goodbye, not even a glance. And her mother sat beside her, silent, for the first time in many years. No words could fix what pride had broken. 3 days later, at Community Square, under the shade of the giant palm tree near the village square, Chike stood before the elders and the youth. He had just bought 3 plots of land and pledged to build a community resource center, a library, and fund scholarships. This village made me, and now I want it to make more dreamers. He turned to Halima. And she will be the custodian of everything I build here. Halima couldn't believe what she was hearing. But more than that, she believed him. Because for the first time in her life, someone meant every word. At nightfall, Halima writing in a journal, by lantern light, Halima wrote on the last page of her old school notebook, the one she used to hide under her pillow. Dear Papa, I found someone who sees me. He came back, not for what I had, but for who I am. And I now believe beauty from ashes is not just a Bible verse, it is my story. 2 months later, the world bore witness to a love story crowned in splendor. Chike Duru and Halima Okonkwo were joined in holy matrimony at a grand wedding in Abuja, a breathtaking affair that shut down the city. The guest list read like a global directory. CEOs, diplomats, celebrities, and scholars from across continents. Chike's vast network, built through years of excellence and integrity, showed up in full force. The banquet hall glittered with chandeliers, while a full orchestra played live as Halima walked down the aisle, draped in an exquisite designer gown flown in from Milan. Social media buzzed for days. News outlets called it the wedding of the year. But Chike and Halima never forgot their roots. A week later, they brought the celebration home to Aduama village. This time, the joy was communal. Traditional dancers led the procession through the village square. Drummers pounded rhythms that echoed through the hills. Elders blessed them, Youth sang, women ululated. The couple hosted a grand Thanksgiving feast in honor of their upbringing, their ancestors, and the village that had birthed their journey. It was not just a wedding celebration, it was a homecoming of glory. After their wedding, Chike and Halima temporarily relocated abroad. They traveled across Europe and Africa for their honeymoon, sipping tea by the Seine in Paris, walking the vineyards in Tuscany, sailing across Zanzibar's turquoise waters. During that time, Halima also began her master's degree in social development and gender studies, fully funded by Chike. But life had its own chapters for those who once scorned her. Madame Ifeoma, Zara's mother, never recovered from the shame. The headlines, the photos, the praise Halima received, all of it chipped away at her pride until it finally broke her. One morning, she suffered a massive heart attack while alone in her sitting room, clutching an old newspaper with Halima's wedding story on the front page. She died before help arrived. Zara's story spiraled into tragedy. Once proud and envied, she became a ghost of her former self. After failed relationships, financial ruin, and a string of public scandals, she vanished from the social scene. Rumors spread that she had been seen begging in a bus terminal in Enugu, wearing rags, her eyes lost and vacant. No one could confirm it, but no one ever saw her return. As for Halima and Chike, they eventually settled in a quiet, lush neighborhood in Abuja. Their home became a hub of impact and compassion. Chike grew his tech foundation and investment firm, while Halima launched the Robert and Amina Okonkwo Women Rising Initiative in honor of her parents, supporting education and entrepreneurship for girls across rural Nigeria. Still, Iduama remained close to their hearts. They visited the village frequently, hosting health outreaches, school competitions, and mentorship camps. They restored the local library, funded clean water systems, and launched a youth innovation hub named the Halima House. Every time they returned, the villagers welcomed them with open arms, not just because they were successful, but because they came back not to boast, but to build. And every evening, when the Abuja sky turned gold, Halima would sit beside Chike on their balcony, watching the sun set, her gold anklet glinting softly beneath her Ankara wrapper. She would smile and whisper, "From ashes to beauty." And Chike would reply, "From silence to song."
Hello, friends. What are your take home from this story? Drop them in the comments section.
And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share the channel with your friends and family. See you in the next video.